All right. What's up? I'm going to play some Tour 3 here with my 99 account. So let's go out there and see if I can pick up a few of the holes that we're looking for. T3. Dun, 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 dun. See if we can go cha-ching. Namhai Cliffs. Hole 4. Was that hole 4? I don't even catch it. It's one of the holes. I'm gonna stick with the Marlin. Let's see, with that headwind, I'd have to do a little overpower there. I don't think I have enough topspin. I'd have to do some overpower and some stuff. The safe way to play this is to lay it up over here. I'll give you a couple warnings about this green if you haven't played T3. This green is big. Big. It's 2.4 per ring, so there's 5. So we're a little shy of 2. Somewhere in that neighborhood. If we're trying to get up there, you can use the island, but I'll tell you, it's really tricky on that island. This hole's been in several tournaments. At least one that I can think of, but I think it's been in at least 2. When the game first came out and they'd come out with new holes, they didn't necessarily come out with new holes for the tournaments. Like now, whenever new holes come out, that entire course, it's a 9-hole set. It gets played in a tournament. And some of those courses that were out originally, those holes don't get played. They've been in very few tournaments. I think every hole's been in at least one, I think. But it's amazing how many videos I have of gameplay and how many holes that I'm still like lacking. We're getting ready for the 2020 Community Cup, and there's one of the holes in there that I did not have a video of when the week started. Maybe we'll get it again today. Where am I at in my club? I remember how to play. I'm at minimum club, so that's about 3 per ring. But just a little bit of backspin. Looks about right. 3 per ring, so there's 3. And a 6th. And that was absolutely a 6th. Isn't it perfect? See if we can get in the cup. See if my wind adjustment was right. Looks good. In the hole. Eagle. Just gonna go out and have some fun today and just play with my T4 clubs, a few T5s. I think I have a couple T5s that are actually at usable level. Like I got my Guardian, I think is at level 4. It's at a usable level. But I'm not sure I have it in any bag right now. I think I've got a Horizon, a Viper, and a Big Dog. But it's definitely playable. It's playable when your Guardian's playable when it's level 1 in certain holes. Like it's playable in tournament play when it's low level like that, because if you're on one of those par 3s, you're on one of those holes and you're like, man, when I get in that spot, if I'm in between clubs or something, I really need a backspin wood. But if I remember correctly, like when it starts to get to level 4, but when it really starts to get to level 5 and 6, then it really is a usable club. It'll be in your bag all the time. See if they'll replay. Come on. No replay for you. I gotta open up one of those gold chests. Dang it. Cycling through the chests. You want to get your clubs upgraded, you got to open up chests. What I really recommend you do is when you it cracks me up about people with their clubs, because, and I see this all the time in Facebook, or in other social media areas where people list like, hey, I've got these 2 clubs, which one should I use? I looked at one today and somebody's got an Inbringer 3 and a Rapier 5 and they're like, when does the Rapier get usable? It's like, all right, dude. You got a Rapier 5 and you're not using it? Okay, all right. All right, man. Whatever. See if we can get up there without blowing off the end. I want to get up to those shadows. That's the ideal spot. It's 2.4 per ring. There's 2.4 that it's probably about a ring and a half. Somewhere in that neighborhood. But I'm going to lean a little bit to the left. I want to make sure that it has something taking it to the left, because this hole, it tends to want to drift a little. See that last little hill that it went up and then it came up there by that shadow? If you're on that upper plateau right there, that's the spot that you want to be in. You don't have to get all the way to the end. Here's the thing, either you've got the wind, if this wind stays the same so that on our next shot we've got a tailwind like that, then I can get on from there. But if we have any headwind, it'll be very difficult. It's very difficult to get on. But unless you're on that upper tier, you really have, or if you bought a big ball, you really don't have any shot of getting on. The thing about it is that you can come out here into these lower tours and you can bring a bigger ball, but you don't need to. That's the thing. If you come out here and you know how to use your clubs, you can do really well with just a marlin ball, and you can save those bigger balls for tournaments. Let's see if we get it. And we get a headwind. Of course we get a headwind. And I don't think I can fight against a 2. Man, that would be super close. Super. I don't know that I can get over from there. I got to try it. I mean, it's 2.4 per ring. I mean, I got to try that. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if there was just enough to bounce me over the edge of the cliff and stick me up there, just barely. If I wouldn't put all that backspin on there, it could have leaped forward. But I don't know how many times I've been on this hole where I've got that backspin, topspin stuff right and ended up off on the backside. And I have tried every single, I'm sure that there is some luck shot up there hitting that rock and doing the thing. I've tried going way up there. There's an out of bounds. And I've tried like hooking it and curling it and trying to get it to roll down that hill and get back into the ends bounds area. And I haven't been able to do it. If you're down lower on the hill, if you're down like in this area right here, you can. But if you're trying to deal with these trees up here and get it up there, because you can see there's fairway up there. So I've tried to bounce it off that and get it up, but it doesn't lend itself to using that cliff face. But I've tried. See if we can hit this perfect and get it in the hole. Man, I hit it great. Had the speed right though. Always take some silver lining out of it. Speed's important. When you have lower developed clubs, I talk about this with my 77 account all the time when we're out there playing one-on-one. If you watch my videos regularly, is that when we're doing the shootouts, like we're more than likely going to go to a shootout here. When you go to the shootout, what's your most important thing you're looking for in your shootout? Speed. You have crap ball guide. Your clubs aren't very accurate. And so if you can get your speed right so that you're always pin high, in most cases it won't matter. That is awesome. Nice shot. Very nice. Give some props. Giving them props there. See if they'll rematch. Come on, Amar. Look at that. Why wouldn't you replay? I mean, I'm just blown away by it. I really like put some comments in the video down here. Like, what would okay, you're getting ready to go have dinner, or somebody knocked on the door, or you're driving and the light turned green. I mean, okay, I can get that. But not everybody is having those circumstances happen. And like, what are we playing for here? What are we playing for? 1,600. We're playing for 800 coins. 800 coins. Now, maybe if you're a brand new player, and we'll start checking some people out and see how much they've won to see, kind of figure out. And let's just be super pessimistic and say they only have 10% of whatever they've earned they have left. And the rest of it is that they've blown it. Four. There's 2.5. That leaves me 1.5. I'm going to go about that much right there. And that puts me about a ring and a power, and I'm not going to worry about that. I am going to worry about that great to the left right there. That'll put me in the rough. It's going to bleed me around this corner right there. That was a hop, skip, and a skip. Let's check my opponent out and see how much they have. So if they have, so what do I got? I've 2.9. I've got 452,000. I've upgraded all my clubs. So I have 1/5, 1/6 of what I won. So let's just be pessimistic and say 1/10. They got 3.4 billion. They got 1/10. They got 341,000 coins. 341,000. How many times will 800 go into 341,000? A lot. Was that like 400 games they could play and lose? I mean, that's the deal. Why would if you're down here and you're playing Tour 3, I mean, is it a thing of you're trying to find easier competition because I'm always curious to know why people, what's the thought process? It's 2.1 per ring at mid club. When I first started playing, if I went up against somebody 2.1, so we're just that's what, 3 over a ring? And that's probably too much. Just need to hit it perfect. And I hit it great. When I first came up, if I found somebody that could beat my butt, I replayed them, because the thing is if I noticed that they were doing something, I wanted to see what it was, because I wanted to see if I could learn from them. And I learned a lot of stuff by watching my competition. And back then you could see what people spin and curl and all that stuff was. And that wasn't the deal. The deal was like, how are they setting up that shot? Or like, what did they do on there? Like, what the heck was that? Or watching when you ran into those people that were doing the wind ring method and how they were making their adjustments. And so you won't get better unless you play against good competition. So, I mean, if you're playing, if somebody's out there and they're beating you, going out there and seeing what they're doing and how is it that they're beating me on that? What am I doing wrong? If it may force you to make adjustments in your game so that, okay, hey, I'm not going to take that risky shot. I'm going to take this because it puts me in the fairway. It gets me on the green. And what's happening is I'm not getting to shootouts and people are beating me out on the course. What am I doing wrong? But you're never going to figure that stuff out unless you're willing to go out there and play against good competition. So win, lose, or draw. I know sometimes, like if I win a match and then I instantly hit replay, then from their perspective, they're like, wow, I mean, but I just think that, in our community, the whole replaying people it is just exactly like Golf Clash does it, fast paced duels where you're just doing one and done. We have all these millions of people that are playing the game and we really, it just seems like we don't have as good a community as we could. My club. Close to min. This is 2.4. I'm going to call it 3 per ring. This is definitely not the club that I like to take on this hole. Definitely not. Definitely not. See if I can stick it because I'm going to do 4-6. So there's 2-4. There's 4-8. I'm going to do just a little shy of 2 rings. This is one of the few shootout holes in the game that I know. I've been playing this hole since the game came out, and I know we do a 10% wind adjustment. And the thing about using the big dog is if you hit it great left or right, the ring. So a one ring great is one ring. So if you go out and you hit a one ring great with your sniper, and you hit in the same exact area, same exact distance, and you hit a one ring great with your big dog, and it's 2.4 per ring versus 1.0, and you're going to be that far off. Let's see if they can get me. All they have to do is get close and they'll get me. I might have got them. Look at that. Maybe. What I like about it from both of our perspectives is that we were pin high. We were right there. You get those shots where you go by the hole and you're 0.5 away from the hole and you end up 5 yards away. I would have much rather had the 0.5 shootout than the 5 yard shootout. Distance is super important. If you can get nothing else down on those other than the distance, then you're always taking it, you're always scoring at the shortest spot when you travel past the hole. You're going to win a lot of shootouts just in distance, even if you don't hit perfect all the time. And I definitely don't hit perfect all the time. If you watch my gameplay on a regular basis, I'm not one of those players that hits perfect all the time. I wish that I was. And I have teammates and friends in the game that they hit perfect all the time, and they're better players than me because they hit perfect all the time. What keeps me up there is consistency. Like, I'm super consistent. And they're still better players than me, but I am consistent. And consistency obviously can win you tournaments. So being consistent. Let's see if I can do the little ping pong bounce to bounce thing. Putt putt. 3-6. There's 2-4. No, this is big top or 2-4. Or is it 2-8? I think it's 2-8. So 2-8. That leaves me 6, 7, 8. That's about. I'm gonna say right there. I think I've been getting my distance wrong or my measurement wrong on that. Oh, well, it won't go over there when I hit a 2-ring great to the left. That was anticipation on my part. I was just like zoning. Maybe I'll get lucky like my opponent. I'll have to go around the trees. I have a Saturn, and one of the things I love about a Saturn is a great utility club. So I'm a little bit closer to the tree, so I'm going to probably be caught up in the tree, so I'll have to go around them. And one of the things about the Saturn is it's got lots of curl. I know people like the backbone because the backbone's more accurate, and I will tell you, I'm all about accuracy. I mean, if you rate some of it just depends on the club, what you're looking for. Not every club you're looking for the same thing. But in my long iron, that's my utility club in my bag. You'll find that most of these holes, you're coming at it with your wood or you're up in your short iron range. So, and I got a backbone in this bag. That's not my preferred way to go at it. I'm going to go until I hit the tree. Am I going to hit the tree? Nope. I like the Saturn better because it's got more utility to it. 2-7, it's 1-4 per ring. There's 2-8. It's 2 rings. And I'm not worried about that ball guide disappearing. That means it hit the tree. Because I'm going to put curl on it to bring it back around to the hole. Hit it 1 ring great to the right. Just wrap it around the tree. No big deal. Let's see if I got my distance right. I would rather end up in front and take that putt than have to take any putt from behind or to the right of that cup. This hole right here, if you're playing T3 and you're having difficulties on this hole, like when you get on the green, it's not over. It's this stuff right here. It's some of these putts, and like they're close enough there that it's not too bad. But there are some spots on this green that these putts that you have to take because of the terrain on the green are every bit like a pro. When you go to a pro tournament and they set the weekend tees up and they're on the side of the hill, this cup can be very difficult. I definitely like taking the putt from the front, going up the hill, up to the cup a lot more than any other putt that you can take on this. Sakura Hills, hole 3, par 5. All right, I like this shootout. I just this week, because we've been playing Tour 3, have I reintroduced myself with this shootout. I like this shootout. I'd forgotten all about this hole until this week. Do max and a couple. And I'm going to add on 20%. So that'll be 5. Let's say 6. So that's 3, 4. There's 2, 8. That leaves me 6. Somewhere in that neighborhood right there. About 2.5 rings. A little shy. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. Got to put that curl on there or it won't go towards the cup. I know the ball guide's saying it will, and that you can just hit it straight forward, and you think, wow, you add all that curl on there and it's not going to go to the cup. You have to add curl to it or it won't go to the cup. Hopefully my opponent will try that same shot and you can see what I'm talking about. If you don't put any curl on there, that ball guide is lying. With the wind that we have right there at 2.1, what I should have did was I should have took the rough bump in the front, because there is a rough bump right here. And if you're looking for hole-in-one on this hole, probably the best way to do it is to use this rough bump right here in front of the sand. But very seldom do you ever get the right kind of wind where it's kind of safe to do it. And with that 2.1 wind right there, it's not too bad. But that 20% that you have to add on there is really important. And they're not adding a lot of curl, so well, they hit it great to the right. That'll help them out a little bit if they land in the spot. But you can see they didn't put any curl on there, and what happens, you've got to put on however much curl your club's got. You got to put on curl. And I know it seems like, oh, I'll over curl it. It's really hard to kind of over curl that. Even if I had a Saturn right there, it would have been really hard to over curl. Come on, Ryan. All right. I guess not. Let's see if we can get just like one single person to replay. I talk about the replaying, people replaying us all the time, but it really is. I mean, I find it discouraging. I mean, if you're playing a first-person shooter and you're playing against somebody, I mean, and they want to replay, I mean, unless they were just like you're out there just capping them, but maybe they're out there and you're capping them all the time, and they're like, how are they doing this? What can I do to get better? What can I do to, I'll just go ahead and play. I'm going to play with my big topper today. I'm practicing with my big topper with this account. Let's go out as far as we can and see if we can, and see how bad this, how bad that is. I'll probably end up in the rough if I do all that topspin. And with the headwind that we have, maybe. Hitting it perfect. Half the time why I don't hit perfect is because half the time I just pop it out there. I just, it doesn't, and it's not really a big focus. If I focus on trying to hit perfect, I hit perfect a lot. But normally I'm just dinking around and I just throw the ball out there. It doesn't matter. I usually leave myself so much room that very seldom. I mean, in a lot of the shots that I take, I'd have to hit like a 3-ring grade on either side of the other. And there's some of the shots, especially when I'm using big curl, that on the inside I can hit it good, and it'll still, in many cases, end up in the fairway. So like if I had a big curl shot that was taking everything to the right, I may only have like one shot great to the left But on the inside, I've got so much room on the inside because I'm leaving so much room for the curl to become effective and to get me out there that I've got tons of room on the inside. That would be no bueno. This is the rough bump that you can do from here, and I'm not a fan. That type of hill face right there is not my cup of tea for doing curl shot or rough. See, where am I going to end up? I have no idea where that's going to end up because I have no ball guide. It's 2, 4. I'm going to go about 3/4 of a ring, put some curl on it. I don't need that much curl. Hit it 2 rings great on the inside. That might end up in the sand. Ooh. But I usually, especially when you're playing one-on-one, this is what I find with one-on-one. If you want to have more success in one-on-one, leave yourself tons of room. Would it have been nice? To be honest, there was 0 chance that I was going to make that shot. 0. And so just recognize that there is 0 chance that I'm going to make that shot. But I wanted to give myself a 100% chance of getting on the green so I could take a putt and force a shootout if my opponent could get up there. And so just going out there and fairway to fairway to green. Fairway to fairway to green. You will win a lot. You will win. Your win percentage will be a lot higher, and it doesn't really matter what tour you're playing on. If you're always moving forward and you're in the fairway, you will win a lot of matches. Laying up down there at the bottom is a viable way to go at this because the deal is it opens up the green and it gives you some good options down there as far as coming out, especially if you've got some clubs that have a little bit of ball guide. Like if you were using a sniper here, you have a club that's got a little bit of ball guide and a little bit of control. It opens up this mouth right here so you can come straighter at it and you don't have to have so much movement on the ball. I hardly ever try and go over to this side, but I'm going to try and get over. A little bit of topspin on it and see. I hardly ever try and go way up in that side to hit that island. It's 2.8 per ring. I think this is 2.4. I think I keep confusing with my horizon, so that's 5. I'm going to go about right there because it wants to carry down on that hole a little bit far, and I'm going to put a little bit of curl to try and bring it around. Isn't it perfect? And see if I can not clip the rough. I was trying to get a little bit more forward distance, but that'll work. So my opponent's got a nice clean shot going up the mouth, and I've got a really decent shot on the island. My normal MO here with my effort developed clubs is I lay it up in front of the sand, and I come into this area right here, either with a sniper or a guardian, and you can do the backspin, side spin, curl shot and stick it right at the cup. But I think where my opponent's at, I'm not a big fan of trying to put it in the hole from the island. I played this in one-on-one. I don't normally play the island, but I've been playing it this week while we're here just because I don't normally play it, so I'm coming out at that direction. But where my opponent's coming at it from down there, you have a really good look at it if you got a club that's got any ball guide at all. And it's a little bit straighter where you can dial it up to the cup and not have to use any curl. And anytime you can take a shot and you don't have to add curl, you increase the odds that that shot's going to be successful. Anytime you have to put curl in a shot, it diminishes your chances. But this island out here is super risky because if you get this wrong, you're either on the island or you could go off, and it's pretty risky here. Okay, it's 2-4, so that leaves me 16. That's 12. I'm going to say a ring and a third. I'm going to put a little bit of curl just to bring it back towards the pin. Hitting it perfect. See if I can miss that rough and just bounce it up towards the flagpole. If you have a better club that's got better ball guide, that shot over there is not bad, but it does take a little bit of an irregular bounce when it comes, when it hits the island, that's fine, but the second bounce when it's on that little hill face there, it does tend to take a little bit of an irregular bounce, and it'll kind of throw your trajectory off a little. But I do think that if you got clubs that have ball guide, the way my opponent went, and if you're playing from the second tees, you get this hole in the second tees, that straight in shot down at the bottom is definitely the way to go. Oh, you got robbed there. Oh, shit. He got robbed. I will put it in the hole. And why did I put it in the hole? If that would have been a teammate, I would have missed that putt and we would have laughed about it and we would have went to a shootout. But the deal is that I'm trying to fill my pin chest, and my goal is to win, is to go out and play 8 games, fill my pin chest, and win 8 in a row. And if you're in one of those clans that, you are trying to grind out points, would you rather spend, if you're a 50% player, that means you had to play 16 matches to win 8 chests, versus we're on a, what are we on right now? We're on a 4-game win streak. So I'd rather go out and spend less time. It's time management. If you have 3 hours, let's say you spent 3 hours a day playing this game, which that seems like a lot. But if you spent 3 hours a day playing this game, and I know during tournament time, like my clan doesn't have any grinding, or we don't care about grinding, because the deal is that when the tournament week comes, if you're a serious tournament player, you got enough grinding going on already. Okay, it takes, if you're serious about tournaments, even when you're playing in the rookie stuff, there's practice, or you've got multiple accounts and you're playing a lot. But on the off week, if you have one of those clans that's like, hey, you need to grind this out and you need to do this and you need to do that. Now, here's the deal. When you're playing one-on-one, your opponent's out of bounds. They just spotted you a shot. You can go, okay, hey, I can go for that shot too. Or you can just lay it up. Hey, thanks, bud. And force them to have to make their shot. And they are on a path. They need to go that same way again. Back on the time thing, time management. If you want to go out and play 3 hours a day, do you want to win 50% of your matches you play 3 hours a day? If you can play 10 matches, you could probably play a little bit more, because it's not, when I'm recording, it takes me about an hour to do 9 holes. And that's because I'm talking and we're doing stuff. And so it's about 2 hours to play around. But if you were just out there playing, I mean, you're probably playing more than that. You're probably playing at least 10 in an hour. So if you played 3 hours, you got 30 matches. So would you rather go out there and play and win 15, or would you rather go out there and win 20? That's 5 extra chests. I mean, 20 is 66%. If you want to be a 75% winner, what's that? That's 15 and 7.5. That's 22, 23 matches. So, it's up to you on how much time you want to spend playing this game. Okay, my backbone at minimum club is 2.4 per ring. I'm going to get right up on the cup, and I mean right up on the cup. It's 2.4 per ring. That leaves me 4. And that's a 6th. So 1 and a 6th ring. Oh, I hit it great to the left. Time management. So if you're in a grinding clan and you want to get more points, I know it sounds real simple. You need to win more matches. And how do you do that? Fairway to green. Leave yourself lots of room. Understand the difference between tournament play and one-on-one play. In tournament play, there is no, okay, I like the shot from over there. I think if you put yourself over there, because you can put yourself up over there if you really set it up. You bring the right club, you bring the right ball, you can put yourself into your short iron, and you can be in like minimum short iron. But there's a shot on the left-hand side, like my opponent's trying to take, where they're trying to get on the green and take a putt, or that chip right there. And that chip is a higher percentage than the short iron. Even though it's a great short iron shot, that chip is a higher percentage shot. And so in tournament play, I'm always going to play to the left. But in one-on-one play, I'm going to play to the right because it's the higher percentage for me to get over there, because it is tough on the left-hand side. You've got to get it all right. You definitely want to practice that shot because it's easy to end up short. It's easy to end up out of bounds. It's easy to end up past the cup. It's easy to end up just dribbling onto the green and you have a max overpower putt that you can't make. But you can lay it up there where I laid it up, and you're in the fairway taking a short iron or a minimum long iron shot every time. And so percentage-wise, in one-on-one play, it's definitely better on the right-hand side. But in a tournament, if you've practiced that week and you got it dialed in, and you bring the right stuff, you can pick what club and you can pick what ball, and you got all the right stuff for that hole. And here we are. This is why the thing about replaying is because if we don't replay each other, we end up getting the same freaking holes over and over again. I'm gonna, now I really want to try a max overpower hook shot there, but I'm trying to shoot some of these videos down here in Tour 3 for some of my teammates, and some of my teammates have clans that have people with lower developed clubs, and they're trying to help them get better. And I'm shooting these videos down in these lower tours to help people get more consistent in their game and not just dinking around. That's why I like it when I'm playing my teammates and I can get, my deal is I'm on the West Coast of the United States and all my teammates are east of me. So by the time I get into the evening where I'm ready to play and it's like, hey, I got a couple hours to play, everybody else is wiped out or they're asleep. Kyle works nights and he's one time zone behind me. So, but Mike D and everybody else, they're in the Midwest or East Coast, and they're already wiped out. It's like 11 o'clock midnight at their house. So they were like, I don't want to play. We got a lot of friends from the UK. Terry. If my teammates are listening, I'll tell you, my family and my friends here locally know that if they're texting me, hey, I'm on my way, I'll text back and go, cool. Or I'll text them and go, hey, I'm on my way. But if we go beyond one text where now we're starting to have a conversation, I will call them. And so they typically don't text me a lot because they know, like, hey, if I text Gordon and we start talking, he's just going to call me. So, I mean, if we got that much to say, I'm just going to call him. So I'm getting used to this whole, we have Messenger and stuff, and we've got people from all over the world that are on the team. And I'm not the most talkative person. It's not because I don't like everybody. It's just I'm not used to texting. I'm like, hey, if I want to talk to you that much, I'll call you. It is cool about Messenger. Terry and I, he's in the UK, and we texted the other day through talked the other day through Messenger. If I'd hit that perfect, that'd have been in the hole. Dang it. I need to start focusing on hitting perfect instead of dinking around. Really focus. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a video out there from the Iceman. It's Iceman, and it's hands in the cookie jar. And he talks about hitting perfect. There is 3 perfects. There is a perfect to the left, there's a perfect to the right, and there's a perfect in the middle. And you can see when you're doing overpower like this, where the needle itself gets longer, it sticks up past the deal. And when you're not doing overpower, it's like right there. And he shows video and he takes snapshots of it, like when it released and it says great, and the great is in the yellow. And several people that commented on that, it was in one of the Reddit things, and people commented on there, and it's like, like Playdemic, they wouldn't do that. And I agree. Playdemic has no skin in the game. So they're not going to like they're not going to manipulate that from one person to the next, or they're not going to tag somebody. But what I do think though is that I don't think they're doing some big conspiracy thing. I think it's part of their algorithm, and that there is at some level a flaw in it, because there has to be. Because if you hit a shot and it's in the yellow part of the bullseye and it says great, in my mind, every part of the yellow part of the bullseye is perfect. And when it says great, that's a great. That's not a perfect. And there's been a lot of times where I went back and I've slow-moed some of my video and looked at it and was like, man, that was a perfect shot. It was in the yellow. Like if you look at the arrow was in the yellow. There was no overpower there. It was in the yellow. Like, how did that end up being? Because I'll catch some of those and I'm like, oh, that was and then it'll pop up great. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I will go back and look at them. And I've noticed that before too. And I don't think it's not, like I said, it's not some big conspiracy thing. I think there is an error in the algorithm at some level down there. And this is one of our tournament holes. So I am going to bring out a big ball here because I want to practice this hole. And this wind is not conducive for us practicing, but I definitely want to, and I wish that on these holes they would give us a tougher wind. I wish that on these holes they would give us non-favorable wind, or give us some kind of consistent like course layout so that we knew what the winds are going to be. And I will tell you that a lot of people put on there about like, I wish they changed the pin placement for the weekend. Do you realize what they would have to do to change pin placement on these holes? That how much work it is to get it all set up so that they know there's a lot of work involved in changing pin placement. Well, what they could do is they could come out here. I'm going to show you guys how to play this if you don't have. Do I got a Horizon in this bag? Which bag do I got a Horizon? I got a Horizon here. You can play this just like my opponent played it. You can try and come out into this area right here, and you can play from this island. I want to like to come over here. Let's see if I can stick it. I haven't tried to stick it on this island in a long time. It's 2.4 per ring, so there's 4.8. I'm going to adjust out the 4.8. I'm going to put max curl on it and hit one ring great to the right. Let's see if I can stick it up on that island and stay in the fairway. So when I first started playing the game, this is how I went at it. But the thing on the hitting the yellow part of it and it's saying great, if it says great, it's great. I mean, you can't deny that. So if you watch the Iceman's video, there are shots in there where the needle is clearly in the yellow and it says great. And if it says great, it's great. And if it's in the yellow, it should say perfect. And I think that's just part of the algorithm stuff. And my curiosity on that is that, and I should go back through a bunch of my videos to look at it, is it almost seems sometimes like on your more accurate clubs, like it's an even more pronounced deal. So if you have a Horizon here, this hole works great with any of your woods, but the Horizon, especially if you've got a lower level extra mile, the Horizon works really well because you can just barely lay up like where my opponent was out there, and this Horizon will just kick butt on this hole. It's 2.8 per ring. Whew. So that's right at about half a ring. I'm just going to hit it straight forward. Hitting it perfect. And I want that thing to just dribble and roll down to the cup. That combo of an extra mile and a Horizon, when I first started playing, I played with Horizon for a lot when I first started playing. I actually completely forgot about that club. I'd wiped it out of my memory banks because once you start getting a sniper and you start getting some of these clubs, you forget about the Horizon. My teammate Flip reintroduced me to it. But that combination of the Extra Mile and Horizon, I got a ton of albatrosses on this hole because I was doing rough bumps on that island where I was just barely getting onto the island doing a rough bump. So I was way back where my opponent was at. And the Horizon's got so much topspin that you could ride along the top on the approach coming into the green. You could ride along up there at the top and just float that ball onto the green, and then it will just drift down to the cup, just like it did right there. And it was amazing how often I hit Albie here with that combination of Extra Mile 3 or 4 and that Horizon 3 or 4. Once you start getting some better clubs, you forget about some of that stuff. But going back out there and refamiliarizing myself with some of my clubs. All right, that was a pretty simple little Pinchester. We got another one behind it. Let's see how much time we got on this video. 45 minutes. I'll play one. I'll give you guys a bonus hole. So how many we got on a 7-game win streak? There we go. I must have lost the very first one I played. Let's see if we can get an 8-game win streak here. So one of the things you'll notice is that when I'm playing, I'm always leaving at least 2 slots open, and I'm opening up chests on a regular basis. So that means that you need to have, I mean, if you're going to, is the game free? Yes, the game is free. Is the game free? Yeah, it is. It's about a half a ring. It is free, but the deal is that if you put a little bit of money in, you'll be able to open up chests and get more club cards, and so you're maximizing your efforts. Your effort is to go out there and win a chest and win a match so that you get coins. So when you're lower developed, or when you first start and you got lower developed stuff, you're winning coins, which means that you can, build up a bankroll so that you can open up clubs as they get upgraded and you can go up to the next tour. But the deal is that you'll be able to open up more of those chests, and the more chests you open, you do get some coins, you do get some of your gems back, but you do get club cards, and the more club cards you get, the faster you'll upgrade your clubs. It doesn't matter what game it is that you're playing out there, whether you're playing Gardenscapes or you're playing Angry Birds or you're playing Clash of Kings or Clash of Clans or whatever app game you're playing out there, there's in-app purchases, and there's some aspect of farming in a lot of these games, like especially the castle building games. There's some aspect of farming, and if you're buying resources or you're doing, and it can be just a little bit. With that wind, I can get on. So I'm going to put on most of the backspin. I'm going to let that wind drift me up there. I'm going to try and be up just a little higher so I can put a little bit of curl on it. That might be too much to the left. Oh, I was able to get over. Try that shot again. So I'm not telling you have to buy chests or buy packs, but I mean, be realistic about it. I'm just a messenger. I mean, the deal is that if you have gems, you can open up more chests, and the more chests you can open, the faster you'll get your stuff upgraded. That's why if you're playing in tournaments Monday, if you're one of those people that don't play in tournaments, go through the qualification round on Monday and just pay the 10,000 coins and get into the rookie, and then the next day they'll offer you a 299 chest with 25 katanas and 500 gems for $2. I mean, any other chest you get the same amount of gems for $5. So it's not, if you're trying to maximize your dollars, do the Google opinion rewards, and you'll get probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 to $8 a month, and that means you can get that pack for free somewhere between 2 and 3 times a month. So you're getting 1,500 gems for free. I hit that great. Boom. Perfect. Would have been in the hole. Everybody's concerned about, oh, if you have the Malibu and you're up in the sand up close, man, it's gonna. Hey, you still have to hit it perfect. And I will tell you right now, pretty much any of those clubs, if you hit it perfect and you lined it up right, you're gonna go in the hole. You still got to line the Malibu up. It's not like you can go, hey, I got the Malibu. All I have to do is hit it perfect. You still have to line it up. If you don't line it up and you hit it perfect, it won't go in the hole. If you line it up and you hit it perfect with any of those clubs, it'll go in the hole. I think most of the people that play this game for any length of time, I mean, once you start playing this game and you go, hey, I like this game, and you start getting into it, people are going to spend some money on it. It doesn't have to be a lot. That's one of the reasons why I play Ricky. I was on Dale Appleby's stream the other day, and I was like, hey, I got a joke for you. What's the difference between a top-tier rookie player, somebody who wins tournaments on a regular basis, and a top-tier Masters player, somebody who wins tournaments at Masters on a regular basis? Somewhere between about $400 and $800 a month. That's the difference. I've already played a game where it cost that much. I'm not interested. You know, all these people wanting to pressure you and go, hey, you've got those clubs. You need to be playing expert and Masters. Hey, screw you, dude. When you start sending me the check for the $400 to $800 a month, then yeah, I'll go ahead and start doing that. I think a lot of these big streamers that are on that play Masters, the reason that they started streaming was so they didn't have to pay the $400 to $800 a month anymore. I mean, let's get real. Next time you see Tommy or one of those Jesse or one of those guys playing in a Masters account, and you look and they go in there and choose their ball. Look at how many of those balls they have. They didn't buy the $4.99 pack. They didn't buy the $20 pack. They didn't buy the $34.99 pack. They bought the $100 pack. Because when they're out there practicing, they have to practice with big stuff, because you will not learn anything if you don't practice with big stuff. That's why when we're down here and we get on one of those holes and all of a sudden, bam, we pull out a Titan, or bam, we pull out a Power 5 ball so that we can see what it looks like, and we take that shot a few times. They can't afford to take that shot a few times if they want to be a top tier player. Damn, that's twice in a row I've had somebody made that shot on me. That's awesome. Nice shot. And that's a very tough shot to make from distance. Very, very tough. See if I can remember how much top spinner or whatever the heck we were doing on here. I had this down the other day. I played this hole. I got this hole like 3 times in a row, and I was like right there next to the cup. Let's see if I can remember how much top spin, back spin, or whatever the heck it is we're doing on this. Unless I absolutely blow this, I can't see that my opponent's going to be close, but maybe they will be. I see people set up shots like this all the time. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then it's like right there, and I'm like, how in the heck did that happen? I guess they put on all the backspin. I guess that's what they did. 3.59. Let's see if we can beat that. We're not going to do it with a big dog. I can tell you that. I can promise you that we're not going to do it with a big dog. And since I have Zippo ball guide here, I'm going to put on like 1. Let it float up. So it's 1.4 per ring. So there's 4.2. So we're just a little over 3 rings. See if we can hit this perfect. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. If I was going to hit it great one way or the other, great to the left is better. Floating it up there. It's more important on a shot like that you get your distance right, because you can hit it 1 ring great to the left or the right, and as long as you got your distance right, you're going to be within that, what our opponent was at. See, do I have time? No, I don't have enough time to play one more. All right, there was some T3 and some rambling with my 99 account, just going out there with some lower level stuff and just filling up my pin chest and cycling it up, what I'm trying to get is these commons these T3 and below commons. I think I have every common in the game, and I've got all of these. Any club that you see that's above, like the claw and some of these clubs I got in the golden shot. But I have all of the commons in the game now, and what I'm really trying to get is I've got these T3 and below commons. They're all level 9, just playing in tournaments. Very little one-on-one play, and I've got them going towards 2000. And I really want to get some. I really want to get my T3 and below commons maxed out so that I can start participating in the Prism chest. And I've never even played T6 and T7, and I can really start working on some of these lower clubs and start dumping some stuff in there. I mean, imagine the day that you're playing with these clubs and you get it in, you get the extra mile in there, and you can pop out 30 extra mile cards in one day. I mean, that's big. So, trying to get your clubs up to a usable level before you start trying to rush up. There's no big hurry here. Unless you're an experienced player and you've already got other accounts and you're just trying to get an account up. If you're a brand new player, there's no hurry. There's no rush. I can guarantee you there's no reason for you to try and get up to the top in a day. Take your time, learn how to play your clubs and work on those clubs and play multiple clubs. Join a clan that's got multiple bags. So that you can go out there and actually learn how to play with these clubs and take out clubs like the Horizon and those clubs and just play with them and try them out and have fun with them. You can win and beat people with any club in there. You don't have to, it's not always about the extra mile. I mean, I play with my big topper all the time and I play with my QB all the time. I've been trying to just play with my big topper a lot just because I like playing with the big topper. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. It's a great club. All right, that was just some T3. Hopefully for those of you that are playing down in these tours, maybe that'll help you out a little bit. Just nice, easy, and consistent. Nice and easy. Thanks for watching.